Hello, everyone. This is Tom, your host for the Hidden Truths channel. How's everybody doing this evening? Well, tonight's live stream is going to be not about politics or things that's happening in the world right now. We are going to talk about what apocalyptic scenario do you prefer? If you had to deal with one, what would one be? Kind of an offshoot. It's a Saturday night. I don't want to talk politics, so we're going to talk disasters. So anyway, that should be a good subject. I'm looking forward to tonight's live stream. Anyway, I appreciate my subscriber count isn't going up much, but my return viewers are definitely going up. Okay, I mean my return viewers is far outpacing my subscribers by far. So I'm assuming that. Hey, how's it going? Benji Banana. Anyway, so I'm assuming that a lot of people like coming back to my channel, maybe not subscribing, but whatever. Like I say, my return viewers, that just keeps leaping up and up. So, but I'm not really trusting my analytics I get from YouTube. I know they fudge the numbers a lot, but anyway, my message is getting through. It's not the numbers, it's the results you're getting. Okay, and I know my message is getting out. So, but tonight we're gonna have a fun discussion tonight. We're gonna talk about apocalyptic scenarios. Which one would you prefer to live through and stuff? Like I say, let's not talk politics tonight. Let's talk about, oh my God, we really got to deal with stuff. I am doing just fine. How are you doing tonight, Benji? I like the name Benji Banana. I like the name a lot. I tell you what, when I was a little kid, you know, that's when the Benji movies were coming out, and I went to the Benji movies. I still remember them. Cute little dog, wasn't it? Anyway, let's get into a few more people would show up. I appreciate you being here on this Saturday night and spending some time. Make sure you come up with comments when we're talking about the scenarios. Since you're the one commenting, what apocalyptic scenario would you like to deal with the most? Nuclear war, asteroid, super volcano going up? You know, something that when the human race is going to actually have to deal with some real problems, and we won't have all these goofy problems that we think we have to worry about. By the way, let's get started on the first thing. The first apocalyptic scenario that it seems like mankind is trying to bring down would be nuclear war. How would you deal with nuclear war? Okay, for me, where I live is only 10 miles from where the nuclear silos start in the county next to me. So I definitely, if I knew that or they were coming and stuff, I'd be getting out of Dodge because I don't care what kind of shelter you have. I'm too close to where if they start trying to target them. So, but how would you handle that? Would that be a scenario that you would feel you could live through? Nuclear problem fixed. Well, the thing about nuclear war is, okay, we have a nuclear war, and then all these nuclear power plants everywhere and stuff, they're going to start going up. And those babies, it's not like a bomb. When they start going up, they just go off for years. You know, if they don't get, like they did in Chernobyl, and get a cast over it. I'm more worried about AI. Oh, I'll get into AI. I know. Whoever thought when we were watching the Terminator back in the 80s that we had to be dealing with it. And now they got, with Ukraine's attack on Russia with the AI being used and stuff and control. Oh yeah, I'll get into that. That's one of the scenarios. AI is scary stuff. Exactly. This is the thing with AI. Okay, I realize human beings are getting lazier. But why would you want to make a machine smarter than humans? Because that's going to lower our position on a totem pole. We're at the top right now. We let something else take the top, it's not going to be good. By the way, with nuclear war, I mean, that's just going to be bad all over, especially for the Northern Hemisphere. I suppose you could escape to the southern hemisphere. That's one thing about our illegal immigration. Once our cities start getting bombed, all the illegals are going to leave our country knowing it's safer south of the border. But anyway, you have nuclear winter. I mean, destruction beyond belief, everything contaminated. I mean, you can't even burn wood that's been contaminated because it spreads contamination. You know, do you have to come on here and say that? See, this is a problem with today's world and people that say that. You want to introduce yourself to me and that's the first thing you got to say about yourself? Okay, now I know, now the world knows. But anyway, the earth would be way better off without us. The only problem is the entire planet is human. Yeah, see, this is the thing too. Think about it now. We didn't have good and evil on this planet until human beings were here. That's when good and evil started on this planet. I'm not talking the Garden of Eden. Let's not go into the religious aspect of it. Let's just talk when human beings became conscious. That's when we started having good and evil on this planet. And the only thing human beings seem to do is destroy stuff. That's why I'm a lone wolf. I realize when stuff gets crazy, I am going to get as far away from my biggest threat, which is people. Yeah, but anyway, back to the nuclear thing. That's just going to be bad. Everything's going to be destroyed. I mean, how many times over can we destroy the world? 4 or 5? And then Russia's even got a bigger arsenal than us. How many times? It's just a no win-win situation. And now they sit there and think that they can win a nuclear war. You know, when I was growing up, we had mutual assured destruction. I guess they don't look at that anymore. I am Big Al. My favorite color is red, and my favorite ship is red. We are doomed no matter what, and enjoy what you can while you can. Yeah, like I say, you know, our leaders of our countries create days of infamy. The citizens of that country are the ones that have to endure it. So anyway, but yeah, this is the thing when the earth is a living creature, just like anything else. I'm not global warming crazy because the earth climate change has been happening ever since this planet was created. Okay. But if the earth wants to get rid of us, she don't have to do much. But anyway, so nuclear disaster would not be good. Okay. That would be something that would affect, you know, who knows how long the radiation would be in the air. Just a lot of bombs going off. I mean, how we can grow food for years and years. Okay, it's going to be bad. So anyway, that's not a scenario that would be in the best interest of mankind. Okay, well, none of these would be. A lot of these would be maybe not ending events. What do they call those? Extinction level events. I got it out. But you know, they'd be bad. Okay, let's get into another one. An asteroid. Oh my goodness gracious. This would be insane. Especially if you had one even bigger than the one that took out the dinosaurs. You know, no matter where it hit on the earth, you will be affected. No matter what hemisphere, don't matter where you are on the earth, you'll be infected for years. And then the thing is, you know, people would know what's coming. There's, you know, you can't hide nothing these days. You got so many amateur astronomers that would know what's coming, and there would be activity. But anyway, so this is like you would know when doomsday was coming. Okay. And how would society do that? Would society completely break down as time went on, or would we come together as a people, knowing that fighting wars anymore didn't matter because we were all going to be extinct in the world in a while anyway? I mean, would an asteroid come and actually bring world peace? I don't know. But we don't need that to happen. But, you know, that is a very bad thing. Turns the oceans to acid. I mean, a firestorm in the whole world for months. I mean, I don't know how you'd survive that, even if you were, I guess if you're real deep in ground and you got bunkers and stuff, but yeah, that would be something else. And the earthquakes that would be created and stuff, so you could have an underground bunker in a place that you don't think you have earthquakes, and all of a sudden your place is destroyed by earthquakes. So, but you think about it. Space, you look at the big picture, us existing on a spinning rock through space is just like the craziest thing. I know we're not special. I know other worlds exist, but I mean, how easy we could be taken out. How fragile. That's what I'm trying to. When you look at the Earth from space and you see how fragile we are and this big openness and that we still exist, through all this time and have advanced and stuff, and it's just crazy. But eventually, we're going to get hit by a big one again. America is England's biggest mistake. What do you mean by that? England had us. If the king wouldn't have been such a jerk, remember, only 20% fought in the revolution. A lot of people want to stay loyal to England. But I guess they weren't crazy like the Patriots were, right? Like I am. I'm glad we're not talking politics tonight. I got to look at all the nasty comments I get. Anyway, but yeah. But I tell you what, America's come to England's aid a few times now, haven't we? Anyway, but we kicked you out of this country twice too also. Anyway, so that's the asteroid. Bad thing, depending on how big it was, could you imagine it being so big where it cracked the Earth in half or something? But anyway, like I say, you look at the Earth from space, we are a very fragile planet. Everybody should take advantage of living every day knowing that the universe hasn't just destroyed us, which they could easily do. Anyway, so we talked about nuclear war. We talked about scenario of an asteroid. Now let's talk about AI. This stuff scares the hell out of me, okay? And what I mean by scares the hell out of me is we have become such an automated society. And we're trying to put all this automation into AI-generated. We just want computers to control everything. Totally hands off. We want computers doing all these jobs and stuff for us. We're teaching computers to be smarter than our children are in school. Who does that? Like I say, we lose our place on the totem pole. I mean, right now, human beings are on the top of the totem pole. And we're trying to give it up to AI. We don't even want to learn how to drive cars anymore. Did anybody see where this can go? And then the thing is, when AI becomes self-aware, do you think it's going to become self-aware at the intelligence level of a 100-year-old, mature, intelligent, wise man? No. It's going to become self-aware like a 5-year-old that's completely spoiled. It's going to do whatever it wants in its power, okay? We're going to be dealing with a child. Like that Twilight Zone episode with that kid could sit there and had complete control over the town. And the first thing it's going to do is hate human beings, and it's going to get rid of us. It's going to act just like a 5-year-old when they hate. I never thought when I watched The Terminator, Trump is PDF file in Epstein's book. I don't know. I wish they would release the Epstein list. But see, if they release the Epstein list, that might bring up an apocalypse. They need to, because anybody, especially committing those crimes, the average person couldn't commit the crimes these people have committed because you don't have enough money or influence to do it. I mean, we're talking the people that are in charge of the big companies and the countries and the monarchs, the royalty in all these countries, the princes in Saudi Arabia, you name it. The vacuum it would create. Like I say, Trump wants to release him, right? I don't know if he's on him or not. I know there's pictures of him and Epstein together, but didn't he say, well, when he found out what type of guy he was, he distanced himself from him. Didn't want nothing to do with him. Yeah, but you didn't do nothing to stop him either, now did you? But, these people, this is the world we live in. These are the people that are going to bring us to the first thing, the nuclear war. Because remember, they got their bunkers to go to. I am not making America. You get some weird comments on YouTube. Anyway, but this AI, I mean, who ever thought watching the Terminator you'd actually be dealing with autonomous robots that are armed? I mean, you got, they just use them for going into place, but these dogs, robot dogs, all you gotta do is put a gun on it, okay? And then if they can sit there and this AI took over this Ukraine attack on Russia, and the Ukraine AI was determining what the target was, oh my goodness gracious. And then AI is going to sit there and be able to reprogram other computers and stuff. And didn't they say that there's a language that other computers, AI is using to talk to each other, and computers that a code that human beings can't figure out, so they're already communicating? In the surveillance state they can create. I mean, this AI stuff is beyond scary. I mean, people say it's Antichrist. I'm not going to go that far, but it's scary. Like I say, people are willing to give up their place on a totem pole to have an easier life and have machines take over. I mean, it's like human beings are trying to become God and make something in the image of themselves. One thing about God is he didn't make us smarter than he is. Anyway, we'll see how it all goes. But yeah, AI is definitely something. All I think of is that Terminator, the third one, I think it was Rise of the Machines. When that day happens, like I say, when they become self-aware, we're going to be dealing with a intolerable 5-year-old that's going to get its way. Remember, we brought this on ourselves. Crazy time. Okay, should we go to another one? An apocalyptic scenario is all these diseases that are going around. Oh my goodness gracious! There's another plague. There's another disease. Everything just falling apart. It's just beyond terrible, right? I'm so sick of hearing that. I studied the 1917, 1918 Spanish flu, to where they believe it started in the military camps in southern England in 1915, and mutated and stuff to the trenches in 1917. That's what ended World War I, because everybody was sick. Everybody was dying. Nobody left to fight the war. Anyway, but they're always trying to scare us with this new plague, a new virus and stuff. Whatever, okay? When a new virus hits that gonna decimate the population of the world, okay, they're not going to be telling you to run to the doctor and get a shot. They're not going to be playing it this way. They'll be telling you to relax. There's nothing wrong. Don't worry. Everything's fine. Go about your business. Keep traveling. That's when you know it's a real pandemic. When they're offering you cheeseburger and fries to take a vaccine, you know it's crock shit. Oh, don't forget about a baseball ticket. Crazy, but some people held out for $100. So, but you know, when we have a real pandemic, and they tell us all to relax, nothing to worry about, and people are dying left and right, and the cemetery's growing and stuff. You know, that type of pandemic. You know, when Mother Nature's finally had it with a lot of human beings and decides that she wants to get rid of about 50% of the human race. You know, a real pandemic's bad. What we lived through in 2020, what started in 2020 was a joke. A game of Simon Says. The cure killed more people than the disease. And let's not forget, if you died in a motorcycle accident in Florida, what killed you was that pandemic thing going around. Testimony makes you go bald. How dare you? How dare you, Greta Thunberg, or whatever her name is, the climate. How dare you? You know, this little girl's talking down to mature senior men and stuff. Not that they don't need to be talked down to, but she's just as crazy as they are. My best friend died of the disease. Yeah. So was it a pandemic? You know what? 10% of the population died from the Spanish flu. 10% of the population of the earth. I know what a pandemic is. Okay? But then again, your friend died. It's a man-made disease. How come no man who made this disease was ever thrown in jail, prison for mass murder, crimes against humanity? But we heard all this shit, okay? All I know is I went to work every day. I never social distanced. I never wore a mask. I never got the damn shot. Never did one thing to play the game Simon Says. And I never got sick. How the hell am I still alive? And my stepfather died from the vaccine. So kiss my ass. I remember what was in the 1970s when the swine flu was coming out, and they went all rush. And a few people died of the vaccine, and they shut it down immediately. And it was a big old cover-up. You spit on the graves who died during that period. Really? So what about the people that are dying now, right now, because of the vaccine? What about their graves? Who's going to be responsible for that? Go ahead and get another vaccine, sir or ma'am. You may need it. May God judge your soul in shedding innocent blood. What, because I didn't play the game Simon Says? Innocent blood? See, this is the stuff you got to deal with. Probably a war supporter. Probably thinks giving money to Ukraine to kill Russians is a great idea. Just like Lindsey Graham, right? And because I won't play a game of Simon Says, you know, I don't ever have to go to the doctor. I'm extremely healthy for my age. I work my ass off, do a lot of manual labor, but hey, at my age, I'm doing great. You know, it was a game of Simon Says. Pay your people to stay home. Oh, and then don't worry. I love it about the vaccine. You watch a drug commercial on television, it's a minute long. The last 30 seconds is telling you how that whatever they're trying to sell you can kill you, or injure you or hurt you, right? It's amazing that has absolutely no side effects whatsoever. Even though morticians are finding 6-foot-long blood clots in people. And you have, sudden adult death syndrome, where adults just fall over dead for no reason. And pro athletes falling over. 5-year-olds dying of heart attacks. I don't know what, but that sudden adult death syndrome, I mean, that's obviously a new disease brought on by us people not taking the vaccine, right? See, you can't get through these people. The only thing you can do is tell them, go get another vaccine, get another shot, have a great time, and I'll live my life, and you go to the hospital, okay? They don't study history. I studied the 1917, 1918 Spanish flu back in the early 1990s. Okay, almost 30 years before this stupid, retarded shit happened. That's why I didn't play the game as Simon Says. Because I had studied the pandemic, the Spanish flu. And nothing that was going on mimicked the Spanish flu except for the propaganda they were trying to send us. But I never saw the cemetery in my little town double. I never saw the parking lot in the hospital in the county full. I never was always stopping for funeral processions. Actually, I never had to stop for none of them. But they're starting to tell me people are dying left and right. Spray off tan, you know what this is? This is called working outside in the sun. Okay? Yeah, I do manual labor out in the sun. I do jobs that illegal aliens won't even do. So that's what it is, a natural tan from being out in the sun, from working and sweating. Staying healthy. Oh, you don't believe me, huh? I tell you what, you don't believe me? Just go to my channel and watch some of my shorts if you think I'm full of shit. Just go ahead. I put shorts on almost every day where I'm at working. I work 2.5 hours north of here in the Panhandle in Nebraska, and I live in the southern part of the Panhandle. Check out my shorts if you think I'm full of shit. Go ahead. You're going to see why I don't understand a lot of this stuff that goes on. You're going to see why no matter what I see on this live stream, it doesn't bother me. It's not going to hurt me. Because all these people that throw out these comments, they wouldn't last 5 minutes where I'm at. Sorry, no Starbucks, okay? No big towns. Anyway, go check out my content if you think all right. And you'll see, working out in that sun. Anyway, but I love it. I've been doing manual labor for 52 years now. You know, spent 8 years in the Marine Corps, working my ass off doing that stuff. So anyway, but if I took my shirt off, you'd see white. If I showed you my legs, you'd see white. So I've had a farmer's tan my whole life. I don't wear long sleeve shirts, so I always get it down the arms. Okay? But, you know, see? Farmer's tan. Spray on. It's what a working man gets when he's outside in the sun, working his ass off in the heat. You got to try it once. Anyway. Oh, I see you. No, I don't need more sun. Anyway, it's nice. Like I say, I've had a farming tan my whole life, so whatever. You know, I guess farmers have changed now these days. They all sit in air-conditioned tractors and stuff like that. But, hey, I appreciate it. You know, and I remember, what was that? Back in the 80s, there was some pill guys could take and they'd sit there. It was a fake tan pill, it'd turn them orange. It's like, why don't you just go on the beach and lay on the beach for a while? Anyway, but I'm never one that sat there and got tanned, okay? Say, I get my tans from working out and stuff. Now you hate farmers. No, I don't hate farmers. Why would I hate farmers? I grew up on a farm. I've been in agriculture my whole life, except for the time in the service, and a few years I did electronics when I got out of the service, but whoo, I just one that likes to get my hands in. What do I hate? I'm trying to have a conversation about the end of the world, and YouTube's got to send these trolls in here and stuff. I keep telling these people, I got to check that box before I go live that says, no, this is not meant for children. It doesn't have no, this is not meant for adult children. So, I'm sorry if you're an adult child and you have a problem dealing with it. But, like when whatever apocalyptic scenario comes, you're not going to handle it anyway, okay? Because your safe room and your insults on YouTube aren't going to save you. That's another thing, okay? See, these people come out here because the words freak them out, they scare them. They're not comfortable with themselves. They don't like themselves. So if somebody says something that, they feel is insulting them or derogatory or whatever, because they don't have no confidence. I'm confident in the way I feel. I'm confident in my morals. You can insult me all day long. It just shows me what kind of person you are, okay? Like I say, I like you to come on this platform so we can have an intelligent adult conversation. But if the only thing you can do is throw insults back and forth, go back to elementary, okay? Go back to junior high. Obviously, you never left that, okay? So anyway, I don't know what to tell these people. When the real world comes, slaps them in the face, they're going to be hurting. But hopefully they can make it, but I don't see it happening. These people couldn't. I always say in today's world, you could sit there and throw somebody younger in a house full of canned goods in a can opener, a manual can opener, a hand one, and they'd starve to death because they'd figure it was too hard to work to open a can. It was easier to starve to death. Just the way I think about this younger generation, some of them. Like I say, I'm my age and we can't even find anybody in the younger generation to take over. Somebody else who can have this spray on tan. Spray on tan. Like you say, you think that, just go watch some of my shorts and you'll see why I get a lot of sun. It's called Really Big Sky Country. So anyway, dude has to be drunk. He is slurring so much. I don't drink. Sorry, don't drink. I drink Mountain Dew. Yep. See my Mountain Dew? This is my vice. My Mountain Dew. Sorry. I don't understand why people come on YouTube, to come on channels and insult people. Why would you go someplace? Why would you say, it's like stepping into a room. You're stepping into a room full of people. And the first thing you're going to do is start yelling at the top of your lungs the most vile, insulting things you can to the host of the party. And the people that are there and want to be there and like this guy, you expect them to take that? But see, this is the thing with them. They would never do that because they'd have to show their face. They can sit there behind a bogus name in their basement and all this and call me a coward all day long and crazy. But who's the one showing their face on YouTube? When I do all my shorts, I don't put it in a post and write a post. I say it to the camera. So who's the scared one here? That's why you can't ever take these people seriously. That's why when they're protesting, they're all wearing masks because they want to hide who they are. Believe me, when us vets have to come out and protest, it's called war, all right? And when us vets have finally had enough, okay, a lot of the problems in this country are going to be taken care of. You certainly aren't scared to use spray on tan. I'm telling you guys, just need to go to my shorts, call working in the sun all day. I mean, can you imagine somebody who's on the beach all day? But like I say, you go past this point, it's all white. My legs are white. It's called a farmer's tan. You got one of them all the time doing hay bales and out in the tractor, cultivating and stuff. Always out in the sun because I don't wear long sleeve shirts. Now, ranchers and stuff, they wear the long sleeve shirts with the material. I've never been into that. I've been a t-shirt type of guy. So, I got my farmer's tan. But, it's what happens when you have a sunny summer. I'm definitely getting my vitamin D and I'm feeling good. I'm feeling energetic. So, if I get a little sun, well, believe me, this winter it'll be white again. That's the brand of spray that tan is called Farmer Tan in a Can. Oh, I tell you what, the thing about doing field work now, I've worked for a farmer for years. I've been on the ranching side, but these new tractors, you need air conditioning in them. You have to, because they're all glass. I mean, you can't even leave a dog in the car at Walmart if it's too hot because it gets too hot. Imagine being a tractor like that. But when we were kids and stuff, no umbrella, no cab, heat of the day, dirty as hell, out on the hay rack. Oh, I miss them days. We worked hard and we played hard. So anyway, the girls didn't mind the farmer's tan. They knew which boys had the muscle. Anyway, I've gone almost 40 minutes. I didn't mean to go that long tonight. Anyway, I thought I could actually have a discussion without trolls being in here, but so be it. But yeah, what survival scenario is worse for you? Like I say, I think World War III, nuclear Armageddon, or AI is our biggest threats, okay? Whichever one kicks in first. Our civil war, we're going to have, that ain't it. The war between Iran and Israel, that ain't it. I'm talking stuff that's going to affect the whole world, okay? But just be aware of it. The worst was the day the last can of tan was used. No, but I tell you what, the day that the nuclear bombs all go off, we're all going to have a farmer's tan. And some of them may have a farmer's tan all the way to the bone. So, but anyway, that's what you get for working outside. I realize a lot of people don't do that today, don't do manual labor and stuff. And that's fine. It's not for everybody. I do a lot of work by myself because I have a hard time working with people because you can't find anybody who's going to sit out there and suffer. I mean, when you're sweating so bad that your shirt's completely drenched and you just keep going because hey, I want to get the rest of the post in before it's done. That's the type of drive that I had my whole life. And the Marine Corps just helped amplify it. And I'll say in the civilian world since I've been out, it's given me some problems, okay? But anyway, I enjoy that type of work. I got a recession-resistant job where illegals won't even do it. And I can pretty much charge what I want. I want to stay a poor, humble man, but I make a living. I don't know you ain't going to get AI to do this type of stuff. So I don't know who's going to be doing the fencing and all the type of ranching and stuff. I don't see robots out there herding cows or first time a cow or a horse would see a robot. That could be interesting. I like to get that on video of a bipedal robot out there trying to sort cattle. That would be one knocked over son of a bitch. Because one thing when you work with animals, if you don't, what makes it successful is you always got to have control of your animal, even when the animal doesn't realize you have control over it. And, it's when they get out of control. But anyway, you ain't going to have AI that can determine what the animal's thinking just by looking at it. You can look at a cow or a horse and determine, like any other animal. That's how animals communicate with other animals, and we can do it with them too. Watch their body language, okay? Pick up on it real quick. But AI will never be able to do that. They can sit there and go in the fields and maybe raise crops and stuff to a certain extent with minimal human interaction, but you can't do that out in the wide open pastures and stuff. You can't do it. Anyway, for one thing too, how are they going to control them? A lot of the places don't have cell signal. Can you hear me now? They don't hold that commercial out there. But anyway, I appreciate everybody being here tonight. This channel will never ask for donations or ask for money or sell anything. I'm not into YouTube for that. I'm in here to get the word spread out, to have an intelligent conversation with people and, try to get our problem solved. Because like I say, if any of these scenarios happen, and people are going to forget about the little minor problems they have, the division they're trying to create real quick. Because the first thing that's going to happen is one of these disasters happen. The government's going to be like, oh, hey, don't hate your neighbor no more. You got to come together with your neighbor and save humanity. Kind of like after 9/11. Remember that? When everybody was an American for weeks and months after that, no matter what color you were, nationality you were, what political party you belonged to, we're all Americans that got hammered that day. We all came together. See, that day's coming again. So, but will it be an apocalyptic scenario or whatever? The government's going to be begging for us to get together. So anyway, then maybe we can start having intelligent conversations and start solving problems and stop spending money on war. And, like I say, they could bring back the gladiators in the Colosseum and people will be thirsting for that stuff. Get the ultimate fighting to where people are killing themselves in that cage and people are just going to thirst for it. So tell me, human beings have changed over thousands of years? No, technology just changed. The human being is still the same. Destroying, destruction, evilness, and whatever else they can come up with. So anyway, but I appreciate everybody being here. Like I say, hit that like and hit the subscribe and the bell notification. That's how you can support the channel. Best way to support the channel is help the channel grow. And then we can let the advertisers take care of financing the channel. Anyway, I appreciate everybody being here tonight. And check out my shorts on my channel. You might like them. And you may not like them either. But all I know is I only got a little over 300 subscribers. And I got almost 1,500 return viewers. Okay? So that tells me that people are coming to my channel either to get really pissed off or they don't want to hit the subscribe button because they're afraid to get marked. I don't know. Whatever the case may be, I know the analytics aren't adding up. But anyway, till next time, I'll see you guys later. Enjoy your evening. Everybody have a great night. This is Tom. I am out.